is Spellweaver. My name is Boltor, and hey, I'm finally, I don't even know how many months it must have been. You know, I can't even count them since I've sat down and I've played the game for a video, you know? It's always been, updates or spoilers or something or other. I know. Boltor's back to making videos. It's the end of days, cats and dogs living together. The apocalypse is upon us. I'm actually not playing Apocalypse in this deck, but I think I might be. Quick update, I am currently playing the decks for the deck competition. I haven't fully tested every single one of them, and I want to have like a baseline before I start doing videos. So in the meantime, I will be doing videos about decks from the Spellweaver Masters Championship number 5, and this is our first one from Pawel123k, who won number 5, came in second, number 4, you know, so very close. Everyone remembers that one. But this, I wanted to kind of focus on this deck first because it's a relatively cheap deck that you can absolutely play very competitively. You know, these are winning tournaments. This one's all over the ladder. I know people hate this deck because it's derp aggro in a sense, but you know, it's a very cheap, very easy deck. The hardest thing to get is, of course, Coronis, but if you get lucky with a pack, hey, boom. There are people playing basic Desmina who, you know, he's a decent substitute for this guy, but really, there's really only one rare, and that's Gnome Surgeon and Cathedral of Night. But you get these out of the starter decks, at least one or two of them. You know what I mean? So it's relatively cheap. Everything else is just commons and uncommons, and I mean, my library guards and Bloodseeking Mutant are all foil, but they should be foil. Yeah, he's foil. But I made sure to make both of those cards foil because I wanted to kind of help spotlight my card back, you know. Promo code Boltor Spellweaver. I don't have the camera functioning because I couldn't seem to get it. It didn't. OBS just was like, nah, your camera sucks. I don't want to do work with it. So it was kind of pissed off. So, I'm rambling. Anyway, so basically the whole idea of the deck is you want to start out with a Spoiled Aristocrat, follow it up with either a Baseborn Recruit or a Shadow Step Assassin, or even a Slave Gladiator, you know, and then just really go aggro. You want to kind of curve from Aristocrat into Assassin, into Force Mage, into Library Guards, or Surgeon, or Mutant. If you've played on the ladder or played this deck, you know how it works. It's relatively straightforward. You play creatures on curve, and you try and out-tempo your opponent and just kind of outrun your opponent. So we are actually going to dive right on into a game here. It's 2:30 a.m. or about there when I'm recording this video, at least Eastern time. Because of my weird work schedule, I actually don't have time during the day to record, so I have to go at night. So this is actually my first time sitting down and recording in this time slot. This will probably go up tomorrow afternoon, or today afternoon, because it's technically Monday, but we'll see if this is actually... Also, this is a new headset. It's same mic, different headset, so we did have a few minor issues during the stream for the Masters Championship. If there is an issue with this one, I won't use it, but for this video, I'm back at my very, very first location that I was recording videos with. Like the first 2 videos I did were in this location. Then I moved to a different room, and then I moved to a third room, and the third room is where I've been recording all my videos and doing all my streams as of late, but because of the difference in schedule, I'm back to where I was originally was. So hopefully the audio isn't too crappy. Okay, here we go. We're in a game. Eros Black, probably playing zombies. His hand isn't terrible, but I almost feel like I'm going to keep this, if only because I get the overwhelming feeling that if I were to mulligan for a better one, I would get wrecked. So yep. Oh, we've got a guy playing with the Forest Bear card back, while I've got my Boltor card back. So we are going to go Spoiled Aristocrat. Hopefully he doesn't have a fumes for it. If he does, we kind of get blown out. I mean, I am the master of terrible opening hands. I am. It's just my MO. I get the worst opening hands you have ever seen in the history of mankind. So no, No noxious fumes from him. But I was about to say, why isn't he attacking? He absolutely should. Hashtag absolutely. But we'll see. Ooh, another aristocrat. Okay. So my original plan was to go up another level, drop the gnome surgeon, use spark him, just so I'd have another creature to play this. But now... Okay, that's actually better. And now I can extort. Okay, so he's got a spirit, which will probably come down next turn, either that or a vulture or legionnaire. He does have a hydra that this deck really has no way of answering, but I am basically hoping that we can either put him in a position where he doesn't want to play it, or we can kill him before he can play it. Now, the Infected Survivor is a bit of a pain in the butt, just because he blocks with it and gets the 2/2. But I want to play the Force Mage next turn, and then follow it up with or maybe even a mutant next turn, if he does play I can't brain. If he does play the spirit, looks like it's going to be the zombie, legionnaire, and the buzzards. If he plays the buzzard and the legionnaire, oh, I didn't see that. That wasn't in his hand before. And he top decks to fumes. Of course he does. So I'm actually in a pretty bad position right off the bat here. My opponent had kind of a crazy opener. So not the best spotlight for this deck to open up on, but he is down to 4 cards in hand. We might be able to... Okay. So we have to... Now basically this whole play centers around whether or not he's got another Noxious Fumes. Because if he has another Noxious Fumes, we're pretty much like blown out. Because we want to kill this so that this becomes a 3/3 and can start trading up with Legionnaires. I mean, we've got to dodge Fumes, we've got to dodge whatchamacallit, we've got to dodge Consume. If he's got to Consume here, I think we're in pretty deep trouble. That's fine. Spirit I don't really care about. He can slow down one of my creatures, touch a nausea one of my creatures. But right now we're just trying to regain the board. I really don't see why he wouldn't, touch a nausea one of the creatures. So he's gonna throw that there, and the other. Wow, okay. We'll go to 10. I'll gladly make the trade and get the 3/3. Unless he, I'm about to say he probably is gonna reconsider here. He definitely wants to kill my mutant. Okay. It's the same thing, only he's gonna lose a Legionnaire instead of the Ghoul. A Cathedral of Night would be probably the perfect thing to top deck. I'm gonna send away the Surgeon. Okay. Overcharger is okay, but I think Protector is just better. Now we'll see if he throws his Spirit in the way. If you hear the little click clattery, that's my beagle in the other room. He's up and about because he can't sleep these days. Alright. He attacks out here probably. I mean, if I remember correctly, he's still got a buzzard or a vulture. He's still got a Hydra. The Hydra we can take care of with the Overcharger if he drops it. I think he's a turn away from dropping. I can't remember. Hydra's still 5 mana. They seem to change the mana cost of that card every single time they make a balance patch. We need to start gaining life, so I'm going to make a Raven here in a turn. It's at least a turn that I can guarantee some hits to my opponent. This sucks, but it's not a losing situation just yet. No, I can go to 8. If I can regain the board, this game is ours. We need an Assassinator or a Soul Flame right now. Baseborn is okay, but I want something else. Slave Gladiator is a good pickup, because now I can play out my hand. Okay. So he's down to 2 cards in hand. I assume he's still holding the Hydra, and I assume the Hydra's going to come down next turn. Which kinda sucks, but if I can get the Baseborn in with an attack, then I can kill something with a weakness emblem and buff up my mutant again. We need a buff up. That's another annoying card, but he can Touch of Nausea, but he can't wipe my board this turn. An Assassinate or a Soul Flames, and I mean preferably Assassinate. The deck runs 2 Assassinate, 2 Soul Flame. I haven't really tested this list in particular, but I have played decks like this, you know, Wisdom, Dominion, Implants. I have played that list, or that deck type, a lot. And I am a fan of playing Assassinates over Soul Flames. But Soul Flames is really good because it's going to let us clean up the board. And it's going to suck, but I need to make a Raven to go to 3, but I basically need the life gain. So, we're going to wipe his board, get some damage through, pump up our guy, get a 2/2 Raven for some life gain, and this guy now trades straight up with a Hydra if he plays it. Assuming he doesn't have a way of killing our Raven, any pump up card like an Overcharger basically wins us the game. That's a really good top deck because it lets us get the free trade or the free kill on his Hydra, and we get 2 life, and I think we're right back in this game. I mean, he could still get some kind of crazy top deck like an Infernal Tribute, but other than that, Noxious really sucks because now he's got Zombify. Noxious sucks if only because then he gets to push 4 and I'm at 1. But like I said, any form of like a Gnome Surgeon or an Overcharger in general just puts us in a really good position because of the life gain. There it is, Gnome Surgeon. Okay, so we are just going to do this. We're going to drop an Overcharger on him. We're going to push 2 to face. We're going to push 3 more to face, gain 5, go to 10. And all of a sudden, we are coming back, baby. So I'm at 10, he's at 6. I've got a 4/4. I've got a 5/5 with lifelink and flying, or lifebound. I've been playing too much Magic. And yeah. So I think this might just be because of time constraints, and I want to make sure, well, I've still got the 5/5 and the ability to pump this guy up with a Gnome Surgeon. So if he doesn't kill the Gnome Surgeon, then I think I just win. He needs to put that in the front row because he needs to be able to block with it. Nope. GG. He's got no cards in hand and he's tapped out mana-wise. So GG Eros Black. So I'm gonna basically just keep it as this game for the video. Normally I do like 2 or 3, but this was a particularly long one, and it was a particularly, and I'm still kind of experimenting with settings and everything, and this time frame, and I don't know if you guys know this, but my internet has been such crap lately that to upload like a 10-minute video takes like an hour and a half. So, no thanks. So that was Pawel's Coronis deck. You could make the changes like to go to 3 or 4 library guards. Some decks don't even play Baseborn Recruit, so if you don't like him, I like him if only because he's a 1-drop that follows up Spoiled Aristocrat a whole lot. Another card that goes in this deck that I personally like, and I've played in the list I did, but I wanted to do Paul's list card for card, is Golem, because you go turn 1. You turn 1 Spoiled Aristocrat, so you go 1 level and you got 1 mana. The next turn you go level and you play a Golem, or you spark out and play 2 Golems. You know, so you've got a 3/1 and a 2/2 that go out. So you got the 3/1, you got the 2/2, and then next turn you follow it up with a Force Mage right on curve, or you follow it up with a. Then you've got the 2 levels for Slave Gladiator. So Golem really helps, like Spoiled Aristocrat, Golem the following turn, and then like Gladiator. 2 Gladiator maybe even. That's on turn 2 you've got 3, 2, 2, 2. That's 7 damage in play, like right off the bat. So I like the Golem list just a little bit better. I also like playing. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really wrong because Soul Flame does kill stuff that Assassinate doesn't, but normally they usually kill just about the same stuff. But I don't know. The deck, this is definitely a deck that can be tailored towards someone's play style. If they like the more aggressive build, they can play the Golem. If they're afraid of Vamplamp, they can play the Power Engineer. If they want more of a control list, there are even some lists that play basic Despina over Coronis and play Cataclysm, although mostly those don't play Force Mage, don't play any Wisdom, so they don't play Force Mage, don't play Library Guards. And I like the kind of the hybrid list, the Wisdom and Dominion, as opposed to just the mono Dominion, but that's just me. So there are definitely plenty of lists of this deck floating around. There's a lot of different variations of it that people basically tailor it to their own playstyle. I've even seen a handful of lists playing Flash Freeze. So let me get that real quick. Flash Freeze. So I mean, this is a deck with a little bit of wiggle room. I mean, you basically always play the Spoiled Aristocrat, the Shadow Step, the Gladiator, the Surgeon, and the Mutant. But as far as like whether or not to play, if you cut out the Wisdom, you get a lot more Dominion cards. You get room for stuff like the Gross Experiment with a bit more of the implants. You open up the door for some people are even playing Prinha in this list. I've even seen a Raging Minotaur or 2, pop into this list. So if you really feel like the Wisdom just isn't working for you, there is a straight Dominion list for this kind of deck. But personally, I just like the Wisdom, if only because Force Mage gets you some pretty crafty combat tricks. Library Guards is just a really strong card in of itself, and it not only is it that, but it's a cantrip. And like I said, the Golems, where did he disappear to? There he is. The Golem just sets up for some really aggressive playing. You know what I mean? Some really aggressive early games. So that's just me. I prefer the Dominion Wisdom with a Golem, but this deck is good. Like the exact list I have here is very solid. I mean, Paul won a tournament with it, so so that's gonna do it for me, guys. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I didn't suck too badly on camera. I hope the audio isn't that horrific. If it is, leave me a comment in the in the comment section below and just say, hey Boltor, your audio sucks, go back to your original settings, and I will try to go back to my original settings. But since this is my first real gameplay video back, it's kind of feeling things out. But and again, that's why there's only one game of this. I'll be playing some more tournament decks, and then once I'm done testing everything, all the deck submissions I got for the deck building contest, there's still time to submit for that too. So basically the rules around the Reddit that the Reddit post and a forum post, and I'll put a link at the Reddit post below. Prizes, I haven't quite figured out, or me and the devs haven't quite figured out what the prizes are. I'm going to be pushing for a few of my for the handouts of for people to be able to win my Bolter card back, but haven't gotten that confirmed with the devs, but at the very least, you'll be able to get like a mountain of gold, maybe a card back, or maybe just some crystals or something or other. So keep submitting the decks. Like I said, I'll put the rules to the contest in the description below, or at least a link to them. And yeah, expect some more videos in the future, guys. I know I've been rambling, but I kind of wanted to catch everyone up. Promo code Boltor Spellweaver if you're a new player and you want the a bunch of gold and the whatchamacallit, the Blood-Seeking Mutant card back. And I've had a long day at work. This is my Friday, so I'm sorry that this has been really rambly, really just kind of full of you know what I mean? So I apologize for all of that, and if you stuck with me this far into the video, I promise this is the end. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I do this channel for you guys, and I really enjoy it, and I hope to be back to doing it regularly again. Thank you everybody so much for watching. That's number 3. That's how you know that this is the real outro. May the cards rise to meet you, and bring good RNG to your enemies' enemies.